All right, we are live, and thank you all for attending. And who's ever out there, thank you very much. And those who watch this later, thank you very much. And I hope you enjoy it. Thank you very much. But my situation is a little different than a guy on YouTube or a guy on Facebook or a guy talking meditation and teaching. That you get a lot of people. You can go online, you get a lot of people who do a lot of talking and stuff. I am very different than that, yeah. I'm actually from a monastery in Tibet, a lot of monasteries in Tibet, yeah. And it's hard to imagine. Here I am, an American, and I'm talking to you, and I choose to live in America, which gives me no recognition. None, zero, not a bit. I don't get paid by the government, nothing. I'm not even a church that asks people for money, It's just, I'm not taking advantage of anything, yeah? I'm in a totally different boat because really, I'm here in order to help, I was born here to help. I was born in America to make a statement, yeah, that America is not negative. It's not a warmonger. It's not a hostile new government that wants to take over the world or something like that. It's actually ordained by God, and I'm here in order to help clarify that, and to give you a sense of sacredness about America, where you may think, oh, that's only in India or only Tibet or only other places, but it's not true. You'll find Stonehenge originates from America. You'll find that the builders of pyramids come from America. Yeah? You'll find that the most ancient people who have walked the earth for over 45,000 years, the Native Americans from America, 5, 6, 7, 8,000 years in China is a long time. Nothing compared to America. India is a long time. Nothing compared to America. Even though it's just, we think, just been Indians, but it hasn't been. This place has been many ancient periods of time. This place has people come to it because it's sacred. And they connect geomantically from one continent to the next, yeah? From Stonehenge locations in America to other locations of Stonehenge or other types of geometric sacred obelisk-like things that are in the ground that are actually putting energy into the earth that have to do with the calendar of the earth. And just pinpointing that calendar creates a sacred understanding. And that energy goes into the earth. It brings God closer to the earth. It creates ceremony at those places where that takes place. And it's a powerful energy of God force in a cosmic level that are spinning just like these sacred geometric forces that we put on earth. And then put a calendar there, whether it be the Anasazi or the Egyptians or the American Indians or whoever. They're all over the earth. Yeah, and they all are set to the calendar of the sun and the moon. And it's not astrology, it's astronomy. It's astro-freaking-physics. Done tens of thousands of years ago, if not longer. Yeah, and you could see these most ancient archaeological things sitting on Earth in America, all over the place. Yeah, so one of the things that I've throughout my life I have established and taught, high spiritual understanding, and here I sit, a California boy or a man who was born in Oregon, I mean, what's the difference between me and a person out of Mississippi or any average person of America? What is the difference? And there's an enormous difference, I'm here because God chose to put me here, and the hierarchy had the plan, and I'm sitting here to fulfill the plan to move humanity towards sainthood. So I am at all times, I'm speaking right now, but I'm speaking to you from a monastery. Lots of monasteries. Drepung University, Gomang University, Sera Monastery, all the biggest monasteries on earth in Tibet. I'm the guy, not the Dalai Lama. Me, your fellow American, your simple American. I'm bigger than the president. I'm bigger than the king in any country. Yeah, because when I exist, I take over the leading position of the spiritual teacher on earth. And I'm usually located in Tibet. You know, this is the place I'll show you. This place here is called Sera Monastery. That's Sera Monastery. Yeah, can you see that? Yeah, that's Sera Monastery. Yeah, it's very big. It's really quite amazing. Yeah, and there are tens of thousands of monks and young monks and university graduates that become Khenpos, which become professors, doctors, people of philosophy and physics, mathematics, sacred geomancy, understanding of sacred art and its geometric reality. You know, how to make a stupa, how to understand ceremonial moving of the wheel of dharma. You know, from the highest order, from Buddha himself, all the way to this. Yeah. And this goes on in hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of monasteries. But this is one of many that I sit in. Yeah. And yeah, here's the, take a look at this. This is my certificate from Sera Monastery. This is it in Tibetan. Yeah, and you could see here, if you can read it, it says Sera May Monastery in Karnataka, India, da-da-da-da. Yeah, and the rest is in Tibetan, so you can't figure it out. But what it says in English, and they gave it to me on the same letterhead from the same guy, signed by this Tuku, Migyur Tengo Songjin Narwang Zarchen, you know, which is, this is the head for the Rinpoche of Tenzin Gelek Gyatso. Yeah, he is Migyur Rinpoche. Migyur Tenpe Sokyo Newang Chokyen Tenzin Gelek Gyatso. Yeah, big dude, not a little dude, the big dude. He's the guy in charge of Sera Monastery, and he gives me this certificate, and it says, it is stated that in America, an American national, Sanat Maitreya Kumara, hails from Hidden Valley Lake, California, in the United States, and possesses exemplary character and integrity. Known widely as His Holiness Galwa Jampa, he is the theologian of Maitreya Buddhism, and also the well-renowned teacher of soul therapy, with centers known as Buddha Maitreya Soul Therapy Centers, and a non-profit organization, the Church of Shambhala Vajradhara Maitreya Sangha, supporting monastic life amongst Buddhist communities of China, Tibet, Nepal, India, England, and the United States. He is sure to impact a true understanding and embodiment of Buddha nature. He represents the merging of many lineages, being the incarnation of the Buddha Maitreya, both Guru Rinpoche, Milarepa, and Tsongkhapa. That's a big thing to say in Tibetan Buddhism, yeah, because in Tibetan Buddhism, these are the only founding teachers in Tibetan Buddhism. The beginning of Tibetan Buddhism started by Padmasambhava, yeah, Lama Dorje, yeah, Guru Rinpoche, yeah. So here I'm entitled in Sera Monastery, at the highest of all monasteries, and I've got a lot of these certificates from all the top monasteries and Rinpoche's masters who are responsible for recognizing the saints on earth. Yeah, and when they come across me, it's like, holy moly, you know, and they write this sort of thing. And it says, he is sure to impart true understanding and embodiment of true Buddha nature. He represents the merging of many lineages, being the incarnation of Buddha Maitreya and Guru Rinpoche, Milarepa, and Jai Tsongkhapa. In conclusion, we find highly realized person, a Tuku born in the western part of the world, and whom has risen previous learning, having mastered all the knowledge, both inner and outer, in previous lives. he now has spontaneous experiences and realization, becoming the very Lord of compassion and all skillful meanings through the virtue of his most holy name, Buddha Maitreya. Yeah. And so, I mean, this isn't the little thing. Yeah, this is just one monastery, you know. But this one monastery is a sister and a mother monastery to hundreds of other monasteries. But there are other monasteries that are the sister monasteries that have hundreds of monasteries under them because they themselves are mother monasteries. Yeah. So everything is under a center, just like Drepung. Many monasteries are under Drepung. Just like Gomang, and many monasteries are underneath that, and Sera monastery is the same. And all these different things. I'm the person who's at the mother monastery, the senior monastery. Even the Milarepa monastery was rebuilt by me, and it's been changed over to be a Shambhala Dakini monastery, the first in the world. Yeah, starting off in a relationship of taking on as senior teacher of Tibetan Buddhism. Yeah, so this is pretty good, you know, for America. This is a big thing. This is a blessing beyond belief. Yeah. Yeah, so imagine, here I am, I'm hanging out and I'm teaching and everything, and the stuff that I'm teaching is teaching that I'm giving right now. I'm giving these teachings as I speak. They go to these monasteries, yeah, all the monasteries, and they all receive these blessings, yeah. So everybody in humanity is included in this process. I'm not sitting in a monastery in Tibet, yeah. I'm out. I'm in the open, yeah. And it's going to become more and more in the open over the next 2 years. Yeah, I'm writing letters right now to Sera Monastery and Gandin and all these different monasteries where I'm the head of those monasteries. And I've got letters and certificates saying so. You know, so I send those letters back to them and say it's time for me to begin my tour and begin my teaching schedule, my yearly teaching schedule. Yeah, and I'm going to include you on my schedule. Yeah. And all the Munlam is mine. And I will do all of those for every lineage that takes place every year. Yeah. So this is a whole new process because all of Buddhism turns into soul therapy. Yeah. We don't listen to, you know, the definition and interpretation. Yeah. It's better to receive the enlightenment through transmission. That's what Guru Rinpoche is about. Yeah, it's a penetrating reality of teaching that doesn't happen by me talking or me telling you got to do change and do this and that. I talk and I give all that information, but I also provide a light that makes it possible for transmission to transmute and transform and transcend your limitations without you going through all the hassle. Yeah. So it's a quickening of your mind and a quickening of your emotions and a quickening of your body. But that's happening simultaneously in all these monasteries. Yeah. So it's not just me sitting here teaching and trying to get students out of America, students out of England or something like that. I'm already the top teacher. Yeah. So I'm not out looking for students. Yeah. I'm looking for cooperation. Yeah. A response of cooperation. Because I'm going to be putting letters out at major cities to Buddhist people and stating, you know, you need to get together a big hall and let people know that I'm here. And I'm going to come and I'm going to talk and I'm going to deliver the first teachings of Jesus Christ of this period. Yeah. And ground this thing out where the past is the past. And we need to be healed from the demons of Christianity. Yeah, we need to be healed from the demons of Buddhism and healed from the demons of religion. Yeah, religion's not an evil thing, but people can be evil. Yeah, and that affects the makeup of where we're going to go spiritually, what we're going to trust, how we're going to have faith, where we're going to receive transmission. You know, are we going to receive transmission? The whole illusion and delusion and conspiracy process that's gone on, you know, is to create a process inside you to make you non-responsive, not receptive. Yeah, much more in your solar plex, making you, by those religions, much more dogmatic, much more religious, much more fanatical. Yeah, so that doesn't get you to Maitreya's teachings. You know, I'm very low key. You know, I'm not like any of that. Yeah, so I actually spur people into something that they do not plan doing. Yeah, they don't plan on it. If you study Buddhism or Hinduism or religion or things like that, dogma surrounds it. Big time dogma surrounds it. So if you come to this age and everybody's vegetarian, or everybody thinks that, you know, you're killing people if you don't have a dog, if you don't have a cat, if you don't have 5 or 6 dogs and cats, you're not a compassionate, loving, kind person. You know, you're not, if you don't have 20 kids, you're not a good father and a mother. You know, if you're not, you know, the head of the football team, you know, you're not a real guy. You know, if you're not a sergeant in the military, you're not a man. You know, if you're not in football, if you're not one of the baseball games, or playing in football, or playing in whatever, in those places, you're not anybody. Yeah, you're nothing. Yeah, and all those things are 6th ray based. They're all 6th ray based, and they teach you nothing. They get you into a process to where you're so confused and channeling, you know, this delusion of where you're going to get your goal in life. What is your goal in life? Yeah, and it's so off base, you know, that it only triggers in people that solar plex. Yeah, and the solar plex isn't what keeps us moving. Yeah. Even in the monasteries I just showed you, they're not based on solar plex, despite the fact they're religion. And that's hard to break up, because they in one way they kind of are. You know, it's hard for people to get in there, and hard for them to understand the language. It's not really broken down. We're in the year 2021. You know, so we should have interpretive skills to be able to make this much more communicative. That is soul therapy. Yeah, all my pujas inside of puja, soul therapy, teaching, and the teachings that I do on here are all the forms of synthesis. Yeah, it's not the kind of teaching that you get when you got to believe in the Nyingmapa if you're Buddhist, or you got to believe in the Galupa if you're a Buddhist, and you can't really believe the other one, you know, because they got that practice only gets you halfway. It takes so many lives, it's ridiculous. It's not the diamond path or this or that. They're all so many things, whether it's in Buddhism or in Hinduism or in Muslim technique. You know, it's all hierarchical bullshit. Yeah, it's not real things. Yeah. And that is that 6th ray. You know, when soul therapy completely knocks the crap out of that. Yeah, I come in and I dispel the glamour of all the things that you're expected to do to be spiritual. And I walk right in the middle of the monastery that's teaching it. Yeah, and I have to say the truth. I have to put it out. You know, I can't ask anybody to do it. I can't do anything like that. But I provide it, yeah, and people come across it. And slowly but surely, Tibetan Buddhism has completely taken the reality of me, who I am, and what soul therapy is. They don't put me out as a person who's going to teach the doctrine of Buddhism. And I'm a Christian, and they don't put me out as a person who's going to teach the doctrine of Christianity. Yeah, I'm not. I'm going to teach the truth. Yeah. And the truth is a very profound thing. It's only found in the moment. Yeah. And I can tell you the truth about the past because I was in that moment. Yeah. And you were there, but you don't remember because you were unconscious during that moment. You were asleep. You know. So you can't remember past lives. They were a nightmare. Yeah. You're asleep. And in this life, you're in the same state. You know, this is all going on in a knee-jerk response, and the ability to adapt and understand is outweighs reality. Yeah, so it's all more pushed into the 6th ray, pushed into the solar plex. So I'm here in America in order to establish a new reality, a new sense of how humanity could be seen as all sacred. Yeah, because America is a melting pot. It has pulled every single person from every single location on earth to come to this place and let go of where they came from. Mothers, fathers, aunts, uncles, tradition, language, everything. Yeah, let it go. What would do that? What could do that? Usually it's, I have a terrible life and we're very poor and there's no way out. You know, this is an opportunity. So we're going to the land of hope, you know, and that was true. You know, they had no idea that the future was the process that they were moving into. And that future had to do less with prejudice and bias and status, position and all those things that they were running from, but they didn't know they were running from those things. They couldn't fulfill those things. So they felt that they were being completely suppressed and so poor and treated so badly. And it was so overwhelming to try and figure out what it is you're running from. Yeah. So most people came in a religious process, to find God and live pure and get away from that very thing. Yeah. But this sacred land, this place, this whole earth, is all sacred. All sacred. Yeah. But it's been defiled. Yeah. And that's the process I'm taking care of. By me being here, by me sitting here, by me traveling around, by talking here and saying I'm an American, and I'm Buddha, and I'm the reincarnation of Jesus Christ. All these things, the truth. And then certifiably they can be recognized, witnessed, scientifically they can be proven. All the things I'm saying. This isn't something that could be done. Most things like this can't be done. Proving reincarnation, proving the return of Jesus Christ. Who's going to do that but Jesus the Christ? Not somebody outside of me. It's going to be me. And it's going to be when God puts it together. And God's putting it together. And all I have for you is for you to come into a realization that we, as I am in a monastery. You're in a monastery, but you defile it. You defile it. And you defile it because you got a sixth rate going on, you have no idea what you should be doing, and you honestly believe wholeheartedly you should be doing what you're doing. And they're usually addictions like drinking and drugs or bad relationships and, perversions and all these things that get in the way, that people can't stop. You have to keep doing it, for whatever reason. It's a habit that makes up their character, and their character is a bad character. And that affects all of us. That quality, that influence. Here we are, we're in a monastery, and you don't see it, you don't know it, but I do. Wherever I travel, I have this incredible telepathic ability to see things, hear things, know things no one else could see, because they're related to me. When I went to Tibet for the very first time, I knew exactly where my monastery was. I knew where my house was. I knew the room that I died in. I knew where the stupa was at. And I knew that I levitated a rock all the way from India to this spot. And I knew when I got there, I dug up a hole and found a conch that was given to me by Gautama Buddha. All in the ancient teachings, And all this was done by Sankapa, by previous lives of mine. And I'd remember them as I'm kind of like daydreaming, I'd go through all these, no matter where I went. I'd find Moses' grave. Nobody knew it was there. I'd find out exactly where Jesus is dead. And I have no idea, until I get there. And then all of a sudden I'm going, wow, wait, hey, whoa. Jesus is buried here. And I said, does anybody know that? And I asked the person who lives there. This is in Srinagar. I asked the person who lived there, and I says, did Jesus live here? And he goes, oh, yes. And I said, did Jesus die here? And he goes, yes. And I said, can you take me to his grave? And he took me to his grave. And I said, this isn't where he was buried. He's buried across the street over there, underground. And he goes, oh, so he gets this old man, brings him in, who is a scholar, and he has to interpret to him in the ancient language. So I start saying, Jesus is buried, and that, his head is facing in a certain direction, and that he's not in this casket, he's not under this ground. He's actually, there's a tunnel that leads under that road and goes over into that field. And he's over there, and he's inside of a cave. Yeah. And the man just looked at me and he said, how's this possible? How would you know this? But that's what happens to me. I did the same thing in Israel. Did the same thing in Tibet. I did the same thing in Glastonbury. Yeah. I did the same thing at Buddha's Tooth. Yeah. I did the same thing in Kathmandu. I did the same thing, in different monasteries of India. I had to touch the foot of Sai Baba and see the devil standing in front of me. Yeah. And not scream or holler or freak out, but hold on to that foot until I got the snake to come out and get into my hand. And I squeezed that snake until it died. And then I got up and walked away. And everybody was so freaked out. Guns were coming out. They were pulling Sai Baba away because I was the first person in the world to hold Sai Baba's foot for a long period. I'm strong. He could not get away. He was jumping up and down, this little, 4'5" guy. It was very funny. Yeah. But that, you do shit like this, when you're me. You go to places you have no idea where you're going, and you get there at a time when it's the highest ceremony of all times. The coming out of the tooth of Buddha, or different kinds of things that are going on. I have no idea. I'm just moved into the king's chamber or down into the initiatory chamber in Egypt. Every single one of these things are things that are recapitulating the planet. Not just me, because I have the ability for recapitulation. Can you take that down for a second? Yeah. I have the ability for recapitulation. And recapitulation is my past memories. Yeah. And memories of what went on in any given area. I wouldn't even have to be there. I would just pick it up. Yeah. I knew where people were born. I knew where people died. I know shit. And no one knows this stuff. Dalai Lama doesn't know this stuff. All the Rinpoches that I talk to, they can't remember their past lives. They're not sure that they're the Rinpoche you say they are. But I do. I remember 100%. So that influence affects the holiness of this planet. I'm the Son of God, putting the truth back into the world. And the truth that the world, this history of this planet, has been sacredly oriented throughout time. It's not just Adam and Eve. It's not just Jesus the Christ and the cross. It's just not just these certain events we're aware of. They went on day in, day out, all the time. And it was constantly initiating and raising up this planet. Yeah. So that influence is what moves the world. Yeah. Our past life recapitulation. Yeah. So I do this this ancient puja. I did it while I was in Srinagar, and I was having this experience about where Jesus is buried and all this kind of stuff. And I fasted for a few months, and while there, it got pretty psychically very, very powerful. Yeah, I'm in process of meeting with the Dalai Lama for the first time. I'm in process of receiving a Rinpoche and taking him to the monastery of Drepung, and being recognized at Drepung as the senior, guy of Drepung, Tsongkhapa, Lama Dorje, reincarnated. And I'm in process of going back to this monastery for the first time. This is what I'm involved in at this moment when I'm going to show you this video. And it's of me doing a puja, and I'm recapitulating. And I'm recapitulating being the head of thousands of years of Tibetan Buddhism doing pujas, and moving my hands and saying words and doing the ceremonies that go on behind the scene. that are found in my pujas. Yeah. So this is what came on to me, and this is before things really got churned up in Tibetan Buddhism. Yeah, because I hadn't been enthroned yet. Yeah, I've only gone through the process of the beginning of recognition. Yeah, so I'm now going to meet the Dalai Lama, and this transition, I'm going to the site of the birth of Jesus and Moses' site of death. You know, Shiva's place where he lived with Parvati. I mean, give me a break. It was so intense. Yeah, and I'm fasting for like months at a time, and I made a video of me at that time during the 2.5 month period just before I left, after having done hundreds of these pujas every single day at the exact same time. The same puja, the same, everything was the same. So by the time I got to this, it was pretty spontaneous. I practice martial arts, and when you do things over and over, it comes into real harmonic process. The body does that. Yeah, it's like Tai Chi or Qi Kong. Yeah, what I'm going to do, you're going to see, is planetary dispelling of evil on Earth through a puja, simply through a puja. Yeah, so check this out. Before we do this, let's focus this as a meditation. Yeah, we're still going to do Om. Yeah, but receive this as a meditation. So just watch really close and listen. Sadhana.
am a strand of loving energy within the stream of love divine. I am a point of sacrificial fire, focused within the fiery will of God, and thus I stand. I am a way by which men and women may achieve. I am a source of strength, enabling them to stand. I am a beam of light shining upon their way, and thus I stand. And standing thus, revolve, and tread this way the ways of men and women, and know the ways of God. And thus I stand. The power of the light prevents the appearance of the glamour of physical strength. The power of the light prevents the appearance of the glamour of personal magnetism. The power of the light prevents the appearance of the power of self-centeredness and personal potency. The power of the light prevents the appearance of the glamour of the one at the center. The power of the light prevents the appearance of the glamour of rulership and of dictatorship and of wide control. The power of the light prevents the appearance of the glamour of the Messiah complex in the field of politics. The power of the light prevents the appearance of the glamour of selfish destiny, of divine right of kings personally exacted. The power of the light prevents the appearance of the glamour of destruction. The power of the light prevents the appearance of the glamour of isolation, of aloneness, of aloofness. The power of the light prevents the appearance of the glamour of superimposed will upon others and upon groups. The power of the light prevents the appearance of the glamour of love, of being loved. The power of the light prevents the appearance of the glamour of popularity. The power of the light prevents the appearance of the glamour of personal wisdom. The power of the light prevents the appearance of the glamour of selfish responsibility. The power of the light prevents the appearance of the glamour of too complete an understanding, which negates right action. The power of the light prevents the appearance of the glamour of self-pity. The power of the light prevents the appearance of the glamour of the Messiah complex in the world of religion and world need. The power of the light prevents the appearance of the glamour of fear based on undue sensitivity. The power of the light prevents the appearance of the glamour of self-sacrifice. The power of the light prevents the appearance of the glamour of selfish unselfishness. The power of the light prevents the appearance of the glamour of self-satisfaction. The power of the light prevents the appearance of the glamour of selfish service. The power of the light prevents the appearance of the glamour of being busy. The power of the light prevents the appearance of the glamour of cooperation with a plan in an individual and not a group way. The power of the light prevents the appearance of the glamour of active scheming. The power of the light prevents the appearance of the glamour of creative work without true motive. The power of the light prevents the appearance of the glamour of good intentions, which are basically selfish. The power of the light prevents the appearance of the glamour of the spider at the center. The power of the light prevents the appearance of the glamour of God in the machine. The power of the light prevents the appearance of the glamour of the devious and continuous manipulation. The power of the light prevents the appearance of the glamour of self-importance from the standpoint of knowing of efficiency. The power of the light prevents the appearance of the glamour of harmony aiming at personal comfort and satisfaction. The power of the light prevents the appearance of the glamour of war. The power of the light prevents the appearance of the glamour of conflict with the objective of imposing righteousness and peace. The power of the light prevents the appearance of the glamour of vague, artistic perception. The power of the light prevents the appearance of the glamour of psychic perception instead of intuition. The power of the light prevents the appearance of the glamour of musical perception. The power of the light prevents the appearance of the glamour of the pairs of opposites in the higher sense. The power of the light prevents the appearance of the glamour of materiality and overemphasis of forms. The power of the light prevents the appearance of the glamour of intellect. The power of the light prevents the appearance of the glamour of knowledge and of definition. The power of the light prevents the appearance of the glamour of assurance based on a narrow point of view. The power of the light prevents the appearance of the glamour of form which hides reality. The power of the light prevents the appearance of the glamour of organization. The power of the light prevents the appearance of the glamour of the outer, which hides the inner. The power of the light prevents the appearance of the glamour of devotion. The power of the light prevents the appearance of the glamour of adherence to forms and persons. The power of the light prevents the appearance of the glamour of idealism. The power of the light prevents the appearance of the glamour of loyalties, of creeds. The power of the light prevents the appearance of the glamour of emotional response. The power of the light prevents the appearance of the glamour of sentimentality. The power of the light prevents the appearance of the glamour of interference. The power of the light prevents the appearance of the glamour of lower pairs of opposites. The power of the light prevents the appearance of the glamour of world saviors and teachers. The power of the light prevents the appearance of the glamour of a narrow vision. The power of the light prevents the appearance of the glamour of fanaticism. The power of the light prevents the appearance of the glamour of magical work. The power of the light prevents the appearance of the glamour of the relation of the opposites. The power of the light prevents the appearance of the glamour of subterranean powers. The power of the light prevents the appearance of the glamour of that which brings together. The power of the light prevents the appearance of the glamour of the physical body. The power of the light prevents the appearance of the glamour of mysterious and the secret. The power of the light prevents the appearance of the glamour of sex, magic. The power of the light prevents the appearance of the glamour of emerging, manifested forces. The power of the light negates the quality of the glamour from affecting you. The power of the light destroys the life behind the glamour. As a soul, I work in light, and darkness cannot touch me. I take my stand within the light. I work, and from that point, I never move. The light is one, and in that light shall we see light. This is the light that turns the darkness into day. Radiance we are and power. We stand forever with our hands stretched out, linking the heavens and the earth, the inner world of meaning and the subtle world of glamour. We reach into the light and bring it down to meet the need. We reach into the silent peace and place and bring that from thence the gift of understanding. Thus, with the light, we work and turn the darkness into day. With power upon its beam, the light is focused on the goal. The power of our united light prevents the appearance of all world glamour. The power of our united light negates the quality of the glamour from affecting all mankind. The power of our united light destroys the life behind the glamour. glamour and untruth. So let it be, and help you in your own life to end all glamour and untruth. Consciousness of humanity.
Yep. That's me. That's what I do all the time. Yeah. So the effect of when you take the time to maybe consider listening to one of my CDs, just think about, the fact that all alone, sitting on the edge of something, like in a place like this, where I'm sitting in Kathmandu, and I choose to be left myself in a way. I have people around me who are in the Sangha, and we're all there to support the fact that I'm existing, but my presence is in state of meditation. And I'm doing puja, and I'm listening to my pujas, and I'm creating a ceremonial process within them that recapitulates my life. So it doesn't matter if I'm sitting in a throne seat, in a monastery and giving a lot of teachings and everything. I'm already doing that. I know that I do what I do through my mind. Just through my mind. Whatever reaction I have dispels the glamour. And that's under every second of my life. No matter where I'm at, no matter what I'm doing, my brain is dispelling glamours. In Kathmandu, in Tibet, I'm known as Karma Sanum Funsuk. That means it says that my brain is so instilled with the highest level of karma that I can dispel anything and create anything in manifestation of goodness. That's what Karma Sanum Funsuk, the master magician of the mind. Due to great karma, great good karma. So I don't put it to waste. I'm not a plumber. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not your average American. I'm Buddha, and I'm this from childhood on. So all the time I'm sitting like this, and I'm establishing radionics and science, but I'm using it in order to transmit my blessings all around the world. And I've established something called soul therapy, which is advanced soul therapy, which uses radionics to transmit my blessings into people within a collective body of masters that support me. And they're all being transmitted. Locations, all my pujas and everything are inside that advanced soul therapy. And that's what people get when they ask for advanced soul therapy. They get every single one of my pujas and all my sacred sites that I go to, and all the masters who are at the highest level who know me and signed a certificate. They're all in that advanced soul therapy. Yeah. And I'm not doing those kind of pujas. I'm sitting on a throne like this, receiving, and you see where I'm giving him a CD, and I'm handing him a vajra and a weaver, so these were all basically passed out to the hierarchy before they were passed out to humanity. We went to shows, we showed people, and they went, "What? That's amazing. What's that supposed to do? What's he singing? What is that about? Well, how can you call those songs? They're not songs. I've never heard anything like this before. This is crazy. He's just chanting. What's this chanting about, So it didn't really go over very well, But after 40 years, things have changed, and people are more receptive. But at all times, I'm in those monasteries. I practice what I do. I built a monastery here in America, Shambhala, And it's Shambhala of all freaking things. You're so blessed to have Buddha come to earth and choose America and prove that America is a manifestation of Shambhala. That's why it has all the electric cars, all the technology, all of Tesla, all of Edison, all of Einstein, all of my masters come to this location from all around the world in order to facilitate Shambhala. Shambhala is the advanced level of technology made manifest by light. And it's called electronics. The electron. It's all based on sacred geomancy and sacred relationship of physics that's based on quantum reality and time and space, and the manifestation of that energy behind time and space. Literally, we transcend time and space. We can think beyond objects. We can transfer our mind from this location to a far-off distant location in any point in time, because we travel on a beam of light. And light is faster than time. Light is relative to the relationship of how fast it's going, and time changes within that relativity. And when you're telepathic, and I teach you what I know, to travel on this beam of light, meditate, stay centered, be in the light, travel on this beam of light. It's all it's about. Your whole entire life is based on this beam of light. And it's right there in front of us. It's the truth. And if we allow ourselves to follow that beam of light, we'll come in contact with all kinds of things. So I do soul therapy, I hand out these vajras, I give out weavers and everything to increase the ability for us to be receptive to the light. And light is electricity. Light is light. Light is speed. Light is sacred geomancy. Light is the earth. Light is the pyramid. Light is our human form made manifest through the phi ratio of what creates light itself. The pattern that we are, our way of creation in all of earth, is what creates light. It's the generator, the solar generator of the soul. And we see it in trees, we see it in butterflies. We can't make sense of it. But that is Shambhala. All that is the soul, the externalization of the soul. It's your animals, it's your house, it's your trees, it's your comfort. It's not a volcano, it's not a dinosaur, it's not a ravishing animal coming at you 24/7. It is change abound by the mind of God. manifesting light into technology, technique, advancements. And that changes genetically. It changes our relationship to all the kingdoms on earth. Yeah, we become the caretaker because we're at that center point. We're riding the light. Yeah, you just have to calm down and listen to my music, and you'll enter the light. And the moment you listen to the music and you look around, and then you take those headsets off and start listening, all of a sudden it's synchronized. Shit is synchronized because we're in the light. We're not distant from all things in a chaos state. Listening to my puja alters your space and time. Literally. Where you were, you'll stay if you don't put me into your life. Because I'm a time transfer. I'm an energy that changes time. Yeah? You're a time lord, I'm a time lord, but you need to cooperate with what it takes to do what it is you were meant to do, which is be transcendent, transcendental, soulful, the ability to let go of things and allow things to come about. That's how I get everything done. Is that it doesn't matter if it's not invented. It doesn't matter if it doesn't exist. It doesn't matter if it's totally fantasy. If it's what I see, then it's what I see. And if I just hold on to that long enough and just say it as though it does exist, trust me, within a short period of time, it'll be invented and manifested, and it'll be the heyday of all life. Electric cars, where are they going to come from? Well, guess what? We have more than you can imagine. We have trucks, we have semis, we have electric planes and electric trains. All things you can't imagine, but it does come from the one Lord who can imagine. And he sits on that point of light, and he's drawing everybody into it and creating everything out from that point of light, and that creates Shambhala. Yeah, it's all done on a beam of light. You have no idea how I can do it so easily. It's because all the elements cooperate with me. They're in charge of that light, the energy behind the light, whether it's Diva or Deva. Yeah, if it's Deva, which I represent, if it's Deva, then that light goes into thought form building, and it goes on high only to God. God's the one thinking it out, figuring it out, transmitted it through God's mind into the soul, and that creates a new pattern of ideology or an identity. Like, I can't drive an electric truck. Well, what if you see an electric truck? What if you get behind the wheel of an electric truck? Just because they don't exist doesn't mean you're never going to drive one. Yeah, that's where you're standing right now. They don't exist, and I have no creativity to make them exist. But I do. And I'm enthusiastic, and I inspire everybody to become enthusiastic about the coming of Shambhala. What does that mean? It means that I'm here and that I'm creating a whole new world, and it all stems from the mind of God, God's plan. It's destiny. You can't get out of it. I'm not asking you to join anything because it's destiny. You're just going to be, your ass is going to be kicked. Your direction in life is going to change. Your purpose is going to find that, vegetarianism is stupid, and being gay doesn't exist, and all these things that take up all your time and energy soon will not exist. Hey, there you go. That was pretty cool. All right, so let's meditate. All right. Okay, I'm going to do the great invocation, or the invocation of the ashram, soul, and monad. And then we'll do the dispelling of Satan. Yay. That's a big one, because, been trying to explain it, show cartoons, everything. I mean, I get out everything, and it's really difficult. I even make a president and run him through your whole scene, and then it comes with a fancy kid and a fancy family and a fancy wife. I mean, who could do that but me? Yeah? This is how this works. If you can ever imagine, the Buddha field has to do with reincarnation. Yeah, there's a group of Buddhas whose only job it is to establish people. They're called the Dralas, and it's their only job it is to establish humanity at a lower level to go to a higher level. Yeah, so they work out the karma debt that you have, at your end of your life or during your life. If you're being blessed by the Lord or a high Rinpoche or some other means, then the Dralas become part of your life before you die and before you take a new incarnation. So your life gets really kind of screwed up, and you go through a lot of processes, and you wonder, how do these things go about? And you're being cleansed for your next life. And it's the Dralas that are doing it, because there's more activity in the process of the plan that needs to come forth, that needs to make manifest. And there's no view of the plan. No one knows there's a plan. No one knows there's a Shambhala, electric cars, flying cars. No one really believes in that other than in magazines and in comic books and stuff like that. What if there's a flying person? A flying person, What if there is a Superman? Yeah? What if there is an elemental reality of our genetic ability crosses over into our mythology, into why we think there is a Superman, why we think there are superheroes, why we think there is a Hercules, why we think that, the Avatar destroys demons and nothing else can. What comes with that influence, of that individual? It's not being a Superman, it's not being, but it might. You never know. God never knows. He never knows. The playing out of dharma in a period of time in relationship to people, it could be taking care of dragons. It could be taking care of demons that you can't see, but they exist inside the earth, and then they come out and they scare the crap out of everybody, make everything real weird, and it becomes a historical reality. Knocking off Goliath, taking out Krishna, taking out demons out of the lakes and everything, and all those things, historical realities, And it's because there is a superhuman involved in the avatar, that's locked in the avatar, that doesn't get to express itself. It's expressing itself through bodhisattva, bodhicitta, through sangha, through Buddha nature. Raises people up, gets people to change. It's a very slow course of events, but it's the biggest hero of all. Rather than coming as an avatar to defeat this and that, or have superpowers and do this and that, it's more along the line of where all those powers that are inside the avatar that could turn out to be, he can dematerialize, he can levitate, he can fly. I mean, Padmasambhava flew all the time. He was Superman. Yeah. The history that we know about Superman, who we know in history, mythology, was the individual known as Guru Rinpoche, and he could fly. Yeah, so it's not something that can't happen. It's something that might happen, but it's never happened to anybody but the avatar. So these are locked in historical realities that may manifest throughout the freedom of time. Yeah, and you will get something you didn't expect. You're going, wow, Superman really exists. Wow, he has superpowers. Wow, he dispels. Wow, he changes people's minds. Wow, he goes into things. He talks and everybody listens and everybody changes. It's not a partisan, it's everybody listening to one person, having a revelation and going, he's right. And if I go against that, I'm a piece of shit. And I know it. And right now I have to just say that, this is terrible. That's how revealing it is, how awakening it is, how strengthening it becomes. That no matter who you are, once I am unleashed, people cannot do wrong. They cannot carry out the process of the glamours. They cannot do it. They're dispelled. And the only way that happens is by my words, by my actions. And later, it's by my superpowers. And you don't know what those are. You'll never know what they are until they happen. And once they happen, they'll be there every day. And you'll have to deal with the fact that that's one of his superpowers. I don't know if it's melting or lighting a candle at a distance, or anything like that. All these things are part of our psychic ability, psychokinetic ability, levitation, dematerialization, time travel, all those things are part of the human makeup. It's part of us, and it's what's instilled, sitting inside me as my nature, and so, and I don't feel frustrated that I don't do these things, because they're not something that I do, but I have levitated, I have dematerialized, I have appeared in one place and simultaneously in another place in several bodies. I've appeared in people's living room and disappeared right before their eye. And they call me on the phone, and there I am. How could you be there so fast? Yet you were in my living room, handing my pyramid to me, telling me I should be wearing it. That happened. People in India tell me they've known me for years. How is it I don't recognize them? But yet I've had coffee with them, I sat with them, I know their family, I was at the Karmapa's funeral, but I wasn't. But I was. According to many people who were there, I was there and I stood out like a sore thumb. It was me. I'm the only me there is. There's not a me that walks around looking like me. I'm extremely unique, and I have omnipresent abilities. And I don't say, oh, look, boom, I'm omnipresent. Look, I have another body here. I have no will over these forces. But when they happen as my nature. As my nature. And that's something we all have to deal with. That's a wonderful thing to have that in life as a being who has these omnipresent, omniscience, omniessence, literal natures in him. Not just the fact that I'm saving the world, simultaneously teaching in all the monasteries in the world, healing the whole planet, changing its cultural identity, and getting rid of Satan. Not only am I doing that, but I have abilities that are transcendent of our human nature, that's Buddha nature. And those things, I'm the guy who you only know they exist because you witness them in me. You can see a saint can exist because I'm sitting here. And I have all this history and proving that it's worth it. It's worth it. You do get to reincarnate. They don't catch you. You don't go to hell. It doesn't turn out bad. It looked bad. But by God, it didn't turn out bad. He lived all these years and he did all this work and all that. Whoa, that could really change the influence of people's minds. And those are superpowers, super influences, super abilities. And those are going to be unleashed between now and the year 2035. And now, quickly now, over the next year, I'm very much been holding back on doing any meditation or entering into this process because it brings out my unlocking of superpowers. And I'm better off if I keep myself in a karmic scenario where I'm helping people down on a very lesser level. They're very dense and they're having problems and they make all the mistakes in the world, the average people, but I still have to be there for that, not in a glorified scenario. Because if I was meditating in a glorified scenario and being able to do all the things I need to do to open up my nature, my personal nature, rather than other people's nature, which is what I do right now. I spend all my time opening up and helping other people's nature. But as that gets cleared up, which is where it's at right now, over the next year or so, I'm going to be moved back into a position to where all of a sudden, my energy is coming back into me. And all the monasteries are, without the Dalai Lama saying, you can't do this puja for him, you can't support him, you can't let him come to the monastery and teach. He's going to take over my position. This is not, he's scared, just like Trump, So all that's going to change over the next 2 years. I don't know if it's because he's going to die or what, but it is going to change. And I am going to come out, and I am going to take over that position. And I'm going to still run this place, and I'm going to still do everything that I do, because I ride a beam of light. The whole thing is done on that beam of light, a telepathic beam of light that comes from the monad down into humanity. It's the Antakarana, the thread of life, the tree of life. I ride that sucker. Yeah? And that's you. That's your life. That's your destiny. I keep it in charge with all the superpowers you will one day witness are going to be what wakes up inside of you as your own superpowers. You'll be amazed, that you have these abilities. Sitting around just being able to smell poop, and being able to see poop and tell the difference between poop and not poop, that's not enlightenment, folks. That's not what those senses are for. Yeah? They're for much higher levels of cognitive ability, telepathic ability, that is on a beam of light that transmits out into the soul, into the matrix of the soul. And it facilitates people. Yeah? And you won't be interested in this or that, finding fault in things. Yeah? You'll be interested in the process, so much process the teacher is putting out of change that's moving forward. Your whole thing will be to gratify and understand that change and not think that, well, maybe not, maybe not. Yeah? That goes away as time goes away because we're all on the same beam of light. Yeah? Does that make sense? Yeah? Because this whole thing is a refracted state of light. It's lesser light. You have no idea that people, false masters, put out light, false light, astral light, and you pick it up, and it stimulates your solar plexus. It stimulates your lower mind, and you get an ego from it. Yeah? And you seek this bullshit that comes from these false masters, and you're just under that, because that's how initiations work. Until I can clean that up and get those first two initiations stimulated under the tree of life without any other separation, get that tree of life solid, then all of a sudden things just click right into place. The Dalai Lama nobody asks his name anymore. Nobody asks whether or not this is the right thing to do there, Dalai Lama. Is this the right thing to do? I think we're going to ask Buddha. Yeah, and we'll see, how the Dalai Lama, no, let's not even ask how the Dalai Lama feels about it. Let's just let him retire as he wishes to. And he is not planning to ever come back as the Dalai Lama, so let's just let that slide too. Yeah? Because this is all under the thought form building process of Buddha nature. Yeah? And it's a very difficult field to open up. But it's done through these pujas. So we're going to do this invocation. This invocation is what brings that point of light into focus. Yeah, you heal thyself. Yeah, the focus of this invocation is to bring my light into your body to create an ashram. Yeah, and I'm not talking about a building. I'm talking about the tree of life, the ashram. Yeah, there is no life without the ashram. There's no soul without the ashram. There's no God without the ashram. The ashram means God exists, and we are building God's temple, and we're in it already. That's our enlightenment. We're aware of it. Yeah. So that there's nothing else you can get faith from other than what it is I'm telling you, that we are in an ashram. You cannot get out of it. Yeah. And you will all become sangha, like-minded people. Yeah. You will all eat very similarly, and you'll find that, oh my God, all the complaints I had are gone. My mental illness is gone. Yeah. My disparity in life is gone. Yeah. My lack of ability to cook is gone because now I'm only cooking meat. So that's simple. Yeah. And for me to be teaching people that I recommend that you are paleo or ketosis or ketogenic, and primarily carnivorous, Eat meat. That's it. Meat. That's it. Just meat. That's it. Meat, water, salt. That's it. A lot of butter. That's it. And that, you go to India, and you ask a Hindi or you ask somebody, what does your guru say? Well, be vegetarian, you're never going to find God. You're never going to have a soul. You'll be so dense. You'll be like an animal. They'll say that shit, and they plant these seeds into you of such stupidity, such lower way of looking at things. Oh yeah, you eat an animal, you'll vibrate like an animal. Oh really? Is that how it works? Really? You think so? That's not how it works, yeah? Yeah. But being able to receive the truth can only happen telepathically. Yeah? Because the truth isn't there until you find it, people. Till you find it. Yeah? So that's what I do. I lead people to the truth. Slowly but surely, I lead you to it. And I'm not saying this is, it's a religion. You got to eat meat and sacrifice animals and do all this crap. No, it's not that. It's just that this is the truth, and this is what it is that makes you healthy. Is by eating only meat. Yeah, and living off of good fresh water, and living your life, without all the hassle of trying to figure out whether or not what grains you could eat, what vegetables you should eat, how many vegetables you eat, how much fiber should you eat, what is your process with this and that, what is your body type, what is your weight gain situation, what is my thyroid, what is it, is my glands, my hormones, is my female 45-year-old period, what is it? All those things will drive you crazy. You might as well just jump off a cliff or shoot yourself, because there's no answers to any of it. And you can't just fast. And that's usually the best thing, is that if you fast, you get so much better. But you can't live off fasting. So there must be something you can eat. Yeah? And obviously it isn't all the other things you're getting to feel so good about when you're fasting. Yeah? So when it comes down to it comes down to the simple thing of what it is that's holy on this earth, which is the animals that were placed on this earth. They're abundant in nature, their size, they're chickens, they're turkeys, they're fish, the cows, the yaks, all that. They liked it a lot. That was intense. So, but that's the process, because where is fanaticism? Fanaticism is in the vegetarian, in the vegan, they honestly believe that, if you quit eating meat, we'll save the earth, But then they have all these dogs that they're feeding meat to, And, it's just a paradox, and all of it's a lie. None of it's true. If we all ate locally, we all ate grass-fed, we all ate from local farmers, we all did these simple things, eggs and meat. Simple. Man, how simple can you get? Eggs and meat. Yeah? But when you do such a thing, you find out that God provides within a kingdom just below us to provide us everything we need without having to think we have to be a master of all the kingdoms and put them in our mouth and figure out which one of these of all the kingdoms is not going to kill us. Well, it's meat. It's meat that's not going to kill you, and the rest of it you can become allergic to. And all the seeds and all the plants and all the flowers grow in a way to create a toxicity so that the animals won't eat them, and they're left to live, So they're primarily not that right. They're great for what they are. They're great for everything they do. But for human beings, our process is a process of just receiving meat and receiving the blessings of our chi. Yeah, because our chi is in our chakras, and our chakras are in our glands, and our glands are in our hormones, and our hormones are in our being, our spirituality. So 99% of us is spiritual. The whole beingness is spiritual. So eating meat sustains us in our physical body for what we need. Just the simple mono-reality. What do we need? It's not just breath. It's not just water. We can't just live on that. We have to eat something. What is it? And that's exactly what it is. And that takes us out of guilt. It takes a person that has a heart. Yeah, person in the sixth ray is going to go, I can't do that. I got to have a little grain. I got to have wine. I got to have something. I can't do that. That would be so boring. Eating steak and ground beef and eggs and oh man, that's so boring. Until you do it, then you find it's so wonderful. Yeah, But the sixth ray, the emotional body, has a habitual process to where it's the first thing is that it cannot really go along with a mono diet. a mono diet, just really, too restrictive, and yet it's the very thing that the person needs to go through. Yeah. So there's a lot that comes in from the heart that has to do with courage and strength, yeah, and the ability to do what it is everybody else is going, that's insane. No one thinks this. No one thinks, oh, I'm just going to eat meat. They think, well, you're probably the stupidest person on planet Earth. Duh. And it's projected, that, oh, you're just a meat-eating idiot. A clodhopper. Just a guy running around with a gun. Regular idiot. Got no brains. You don't eat carrots, right? You don't eat salads. You don't eat organic food. You're not smart like the rest of us. You eat meat, just meat. You eat raw fish. Holy shit. And in reality and consciousness, that's exactly, in consciousness, that's where we should be. But that's not where religions tell you should be. That's not where the Seventh-day Adventist says you should be. That's not where the Krishna people say you should be. That's where some Buddhist people say you shouldn't be, But where's the truth in this? It's so simple. And we're going to be led to the truth. We're going to be led to the truth. Yeah? And as we get to that, and other people do it, and they lose their diabetes, they lose their cancer, they become pretty, they become thin, they become strong, and this happens after 2 years of doing it. It's just automatic. There's nothing else you could do because you're not eating anything else to cause you the inflammation. It completely eliminates the inflammation. So your body transforms into this healthy being. You start making more brain cells. You actually get happier and smarter because you're eating meat. Yeah? And you include maybe fasting or things like that. But now you have an open mind. You're working out of your heart. And you don't have fear going on all the time. I'm a carnivore. Blood dripping from my teeth. Blood on my shirt, blood on my hands, blood all over the kitchen, grease everywhere, the whole delusion of what it means to be thinking carnivore. Oh my God, it's like being a vampire, and it's so not that. It's so natural. Yeah, it's so natural. Yeah. So that's where, in my teaching, that's where I go. I go to the truth. And I slowly but surely I go there. I don't go there overnight. I slowly but surely go there. Yeah? And that leads the whole world down the same path because it's slowly but surely. Not, this is the way it's got to be and that's the way it is and this is it. And I'm not going to explain it to you as to why it has to be that way. Literally, if you're led there, you go through your own experience and you become the person who says, this is why it's happening. And everybody goes, yeah, and the same thing's happening to me. And I'm actually gorging on butter and I'm losing weight. That's crazy. My heart is clicking like no diabetes and very thin, and I'm eating butter, cubes of butter. You read about Krishna. Krishna loves butter. Yeah. There's all kinds of things in the history, in reality, that can lead us down this path. And I read those things. I study those things. And I let go of the glamour that is translated into those things. I don't see it in the same way. I read the same thing, but I don't hear the same thing. I don't see the same thing. Yeah. So all the things that I've studied has led me through this reality that this is how we eat. This is how we behave. And we are spiritual. We're not like, only just, I don't know, I'm a certain type or I'm a Brahma or something like that, and I'm not ordained. I'm not capable, I can't be spiritual. I can't be holy, I can't be anything like that, and that's not true. It's not true. There's no makeup in a person that doesn't make us identical. The only uniqueness is that God gives us a soul, a monadic imprint that allows us to fit into the collective consciousness. Because imagine if you collect it all together, it's a massive, so much, everything, yeah? But yet it all can work together symbiotically, yeah? Through synthesis. Because we all have an individual identity. And that individual identity keeps us from bumping into each other. Literally, we have a psychic rapport with our own inner self and God's inner self and our thumbprint that gives us an identity to where we want to be at a certain place. We want to go do a certain thing. We have a real whole guiding light, that takes us to where we're going. And it could be misguiding us. And so the influence of what I'm doing is that I'm helping you understand the reality of the ashram so that the light that's actually coming in isn't coming from your solar plex, because it's a desire body. All the false teachers are out there listening to your desire body and teaching you what you want to hear. All your fears. Oh, I've got diabetes. Oh, I've got this disease. Oh, this causes that. This is Crohn's disease. And this causes this causes that. They're all just coming out of your fear box. And they're hearing you. And you're not with God. You're not with your heart. You're not talking to Jesus. You're talking to the fear box. You're talking to all the people out there on a pulpit. Going, yeah, I'm a doctor, yeah, I'm a physicist, yeah, I'm an engineer, yeah, I'm this, I'm that, and I know something, and they don't know anything, because they're not on the beam of light. They're sitting there in an astral projected reality, listening to your desire body to fix what you've got going on, and if you go to any doctor, they're going to come out this desire body quack that's going to listen to you and your desire body, and if they're insensitive, they can't hear it, and they go automatic. You're a cog, you've got these symptoms, these are the situations, and this is what you're going to get. Listen to me, shut up, just go about as I tell you, and if you come back and you didn't do as I said, that's the reason why you got worse, because you're just a cog. There's no relationship, but the truth is that they're there to fix your desire body. It causes the disease, and they have a job to keep that wheel going so that they can be a doctor, or they can be whatever they are that's stuck in that astral field of your solar plex. Because we're all so smart, we're all so capable, but we have no idea is that we're our worst enemy, and we create our enemies to become people we follow. And you become a follower of this thing. And you need to really let that go. I'm here, babby, talk, give. And it's so important to know that there's only one teacher that is bringing everybody in at the highest level in the most advanced way, so that everybody's got to catch up, way up, to where I'm at in giving teachings. And if you listen and cooperate, and move through this process, you'll take it with your heart rather than your solar plex. Because your solar plex will immediately start thinking, yeah, but I've got like a throat problem, or I've got a leg problem, or I've got a foot problem, or I've got whatever. I got a problem, So you're going to be a doctor. All of a sudden, now I'm a doctor. I'm going to fix my problem. I need to, because that's what we do. We take our fifth ray, put it in our sacral center, and we try to fix things, but we have no idea how to do it. Does that make sense? So there's an enormous amount of change in the process for us to receive that beam of light. And the beam of light has to be at your brow center. I teach to your brow center, but you cannot be listening or seeking information from other teachers, because they're going to be at your sacral center with a fifth ray, where my brow center is up here, And you literally got to let go of all this stuff that comes into the solar plex that comes from the past. You find this information, and you want to keep using it, And it never was a working scenario. It never was a working scenario, So the whole process is about opening up and waking up the heart. So let's do this invocation, then we'll do the prayer, and then we'll do a puja. Isn't that fun? All right. Okay, repeat after me. I invoke the power, the love, and the wisdom of my ashram, soul, and monad to guide me into the right activity in the plan. to clarify and stimulate my mind, to transform and transmute my feelings and emotions, to energize and vitalize and heal my physical and etheric body, so there is a normal flow of energy in my physical and etheric body. Through this day and every day, I ask this in the name of the Christ to serve the One. All in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Okay, this puja is a visual, so you can watch it. I invoke the power, the love, and the wisdom of your ashram, soul, and monad. Guide you into the right activity in the plan. I invoke the alignment of the 7 rays. To your 7 chakras. I invoke the alignment of the 3rd ray. To your throat center. The 7th ray. Okay, take a deep breath. To your sacral center. The alignment of the 2nd ray to your heart center. I invoke the alignment of the 6th ray to your solar plex. I invoke the alignment alignment of the fifth ray. To your brow center. I invoke the light of the Christ within. I invoke the nature of the Buddha that you are to become. I invoke the mind of the Devic angelic beingness that you can be.
Seven rays of
I invoke the celestial spheres, the sounds of heaven,
sounds of love,
the sounds of God,
tones
the song of love.
planetary logos, solar
invoke the angel that you are to wake up.
Science of redemption, science of God. Sacred geomancy.
I invoke all mankind to dream in visions, to awaken, to live. Okay, just relax. All right, so I've got next 5 years is going to be pretty exciting. Yeah, and I invite everybody to come along. Yeah, it's my experience, and you can witness it. Yeah, and you could come in contact with the hierarchy, come in contact with the work of Jesus the Christ, witness it. And 5-10 years later after that, it's going to make a major difference in your life. And it'll catch up to you. Yeah, you may not pick it all up at that moment, but, I'm going to be going to all over America, all over Canada, all over Europe. Yeah, I'm getting a motor home and I'm driving all over Europe. Yeah, so I'm going to spend a good 6 months just traveling over Europe. We're going to do the same thing in Tibet. Yeah, we're getting a 4x4 and we're going to travel all over the place. Yeah, and we're going to just do what we do, But in each place, there are these dharma centers and monasteries that are aspects of the bigger monasteries that I'm in charge of. And many of the Rinpoches have built those monasteries, and they're going to come under me. So it allows me teaching centers that are based on Buddhism, but they're based on Maitreya Buddhism. And no one really knows what that's going to be until I open my mouth, till I sit down and talk, because I'm Maitreya and nobody else is Maitreya. They hear about what I might say, they hear about what I've said in the past, but it's nothing compared to what I'm doing right now. And as they study it, they're becoming aware of the fact that I'm bringing Shambhala, and I'm bringing all the different things of the myths that could not be understood, the initiations that could not be attained, are all going to be attained through me. Yeah, on a real form and a real format that everybody can attune to. Yeah, so Shambhala is going to become earth, and not just a Tibetan Buddhism thing or a Buddhism thing. Yeah, and they're going to be very well aware of that, and they're going to be very enthusiastic about the fact that their major players in this process. And that's going to take him out of a horrible, horrible process of what happened in China, what happened with the Dalai Lama and Dorje Chungden, and what happened with all the different processes of the Karmapa and how he was betrayed. And, all of that has gone on, is all going to fall away. And you're going to be opened up to a whole new area of what our future is going to be. And it's not just about us living in Tibetan monasteries or something. It's about us recapitulating the merit that we instilled in our sainthood. And these false saints that are taking that credibility, and the priests and the Catholic priests that are out there raping little boys and girls, and asking for as though they have power and the grace of the Holy Spirit of God, that they're there to redeem you so that you can repent to them as they rape your children. That is not what is real. And what is going to happen is that they're going to be externalized. All things will be externalized. And if that includes the Dalai Lama, if that includes the Pope, whoever it is, I really don't care. I'm only interested in the truth, and I want everybody to be free. And you're not going to be free if you're following a devil. And if I can find it, and I could relinquish you from not being able to see it, and make it possible for you to step aside, and not follow your sixth ray of, obligation and loyalty and all those things that comes with your idealistic attitude. I'm going to dispel all that, clean it up over the next 5 years. And there's going to be extreme cooperation. You're going to get flying cars, you're going to get safety, you're going to get health, you're going to get health. I'm telling you, health, mental health. We're going down a hellhole of health. Everybody's fat, everybody's dying, everybody's getting diabetes, everybody needs their knees replaced, everybody needs their ankles replaced, everybody needs their hips replaced. Their hearts are going out. Their brains are degenerating by the time they're 50 years old. Their bones are brittle by the time they're 50 years old. That's all going to stop. 100%, completely stop. Turn all around. Not because of pharmacies, not because of new sciences or anything like that. It's because of Buddhism and nature and the truth. I'm going to tell you the truth. And that's what's going to set you free. You can hear your own bullshit, but it's not me talking to you. And I will come back around sooner or later and repeat myself until you get it and let go of your bullshit. Because I'm not your bullshit. You're your bullshit. And you hear your own echoing, your own astral body desire of fear. And you project. And it creates a disease you're going to get. And you're just fulfilling your prophecy. You're a false prophet. And you do not profit. Yeah. The only thing you're going to get is all the suffering you get. And I'm going to change that. Yeah. And you don't have to go holy roller on me. I'm just going to do it for you. And you're going to get really healthy. And that's what's important to me. Is that you're healthy and that you have a home. That you have enough income to survive and feel that you're a worthy person to live on this earth. Yeah, that's important to me. That's all that's important. Yeah, and I'm going to change it to where all of you have that forever. Yeah, not going to be communism. It's not going to be anything like that. It's going to be real. It's going to be truth. And if I tell you the truth, you will find ways to make this come about without it being fanatical and anybody losing their human rights. Yeah, you'll get healthy. You'll give. You'll share. You'll care. You'll pass bills to take care of the homeless, every single homeless person, every child who can't go to school, that doesn't have any food, have no clothing, nothing. There is a way to know that this is going on. There is a way to fix it. Yeah, and I will teach that process. I will radiate that process to answer those questions and get these things worked out. And over the next 10 years, you're going to see all the homeless picked up and put in tiny homes and hotels turned into places for them to live. You're going to see it go on like that. And you're going to see people get jobs and get cars and come out of being homeless and no longer on the street. Great transfiguration of humanity is going to take place over the next 10 years. Yeah, and that's going to be, the reason is because of Shambhala. Shambhala creates prosperity. It creates prosperity. More money than you could ever shake a stick at. And it comes from the sun. It comes from the wind. It doesn't come from your labor, your hard work. It doesn't come from destroying the earth. It comes from putting things in a right action and utilizing those things. And ecology is economy. And you will make more money than you ever imagined before, just simply by capturing the sun, capturing the wind, living in proper housing, and eating minimally. Yeah. All right. So enjoy yourselves.